Hey, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Sordward Shielbert's spectacular podcast. We're on, what is this, episode 6? Crazy. Anyway, I'm joined by Nelson, head coach of the Davenport Dragapults.
Hey, everybody.
Devin, returning again, head coach of the Detroit Steelix.
Hello.
And I can't get rid of him. He's like a bad rash. Tom, head coach of the Montreal Milotics.
What's up, guys? I beat Ryan.
That is true. Anyway, on to what really matters. We just finished week 2 of the season. A lot of stuff going on. So, guys, why don't you tell me about your games? Nelson, why don't you start us off? You had your game earlier today. Tell me about it. What was the outcome? Anything interesting happen?
My agent slash stayed in the whole game. So I led with Serena Scrafty, and he led with Koma'o, I want to say Wheezing, and I figured I ended up U-turning with Serena to bring out the agent slash, and the agent slash killed 3 of his mons and stayed there the whole game. Wow. So really proud of my agent slash.
Wow, so you never even ended up swapping it out?
Nope, it stayed there the whole time.
That's awesome. And who was your opponent?
Worcester Delibirds.
Yeah, he's not living up to the hype that I had around him. I thought he was going to have a better team, but I know I hope he can turn around. He's kind of new to the doubles format, knowing him for a while, so I'm hoping he can turn around. Unfortunately, he didn't have his Pokemon properly trained last week, so he just kind of had this week to kind of recorrect them. So I'm sure he still had them not optimized, but I'm expecting more from him. But that's awesome, Nelson. Good to see you in the win column. Davenport Dragapults representing.
Almost had it last week.
Yeah, your Scrafty did work last week.
I'm sure Scrafty was insane last week.
Yeah.
Your opponent last week was awful.
Yeah, I misplayed a lot. And at one point, you had 2 and I had 4, and I just thought, all right, I fucking got this. And then I just proceeded to do Nelson things and just lost.
I was the whole game. I was kind of trying to set it up so that Gengar would sweep, and kind of what happened between Gengar and Rillaboom.
Yeah. Speaking of, I guess his opponent last week, Devin, how was your week 2 matchup?
I lost, but it was kind of awesome. I played against Waco, and I went into it knowing it was going to be a good match just because he had Mimikyu. And it came down to the wire. I led Gyarados, Steelix. He led Malamar, and I can never pronounce it. Mashuna? Mashuna?
Yeah, Musharna.
He told me that Mashuna was out the entire game. Until
it was. I kind of just ignored it, and that might have been one of my mistakes. But it came down to I had Gyarados at full health, and he had Excadrill at full health. Nothing else was left for either of us, and he outsped with Iron Head, but it would have been a 4-shot knockout, and my waterfall would have OHKO'd or 2-KO'd, it was close to OHKO'ing, but 100% 2-KO'd. And he proceeded to get 3 Iron Head flinches off in a row. And I'm not even mad. It was a great match. I had fun, and I really hope to play him again in the playoffs.
There you go, Tom. Montreal Milotics 2-0 to start off season 2. Tell me about your matchup this week. We have that also live on the Facebook too, if you want to watch that.
Yeah, so in my matchup, I just led Lapras and Sableye because when I took a look at the Charizard team, I was kind of well, the only thing I really have to worry about is the Vileplume with Sleep Powder in the sun. And I was kind of expecting him to lead Torkoal and Vileplume because that was his best start. So what I did is I EV trained my Lapras to outspeed the Vileplume when it wasn't in sun. And I was just going to do Sableye, Lapras lead, and then just switch my Sableye into Gigalith, set up the Sand, and then one-shot the Vileplume with Lapras, and then I would have Sandub and Aurora Veil. So, like, the Gigalith wouldn't take any damage, the Lapras wouldn't take any damage from Torkoal, and then I would just able to sweep. But he started Rhyperior and Heliolisk, and I was like, okay. And then I just went, let's see how good Sableye is. And I just quashed every single one of the Pokemon that I wanted to knock out, and I just proceeded to just go quash, knockout, and yeah, it was brutal. I kind of feel bad, but
Yeah, he only knocked out your Lapras, right?
yeah, he got the Lapras with the Heliolisk on like it was like the third or fourth hit that he threw on it.
Yeah, so you got what you needed out of it.
Yeah, I showed Lapras's true potential.
Yeah, so the Sun team didn't bring its Sunsetter. Maybe that says something, but he tried to bring some tech against you. I saw he had Dry Skin Heelless, so maybe he was hoping for like some trickery around your Lapras or something, and thinking like, oh, like you said, you were expecting one lead. He didn't even bring Sun, so maybe he was trying to get a surprise factor on you. But sometimes the surprise factor just means you're inefficient.
You have Venusaur, right, Tom?
Yeah, I think I brought Venusaur too, like just to have in case like he broke out of the Sableye and Lapras lead. Like I really wanted to play a game where I was going to switch more.
I could kind of see if he was like, yeah, I bring the Sun, but you have a better way to utilize it than I do, so I don't really want to fuel you.
Yeah, because like I mean, Venusaur can learn like Earth Power and Sludge Bomb, so he can I can just take out Grass types and Torkoal and stuff. But
yeah, Weather Ball on Venusaur, make it a fire attack.
Yeah, I mean, I expect my Giga Drain to one-shot the Rhyperior, so like that would have been a gross play. Is like he damages the Venusaur and then I knock out the Rhyperior and go to full health.
Yeah, so I can kind of see what he was trying to do, but I think it just made his overall team a lot weaker. And then obviously you being a good coach with a good team were able to just kind of like adjust your game plan and take it from there. But I can see what he was trying to do by not bringing his standard, quote unquote, standard team.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, with doubles, like the most important turn is the first turn, and if you watch like the battle, I basically fake out the Heliolisk and I one-shot the Rhyperior, and so the game starts at a 6v5. Like
Sable has such a hard Pokemon too to kind of like plan around because it can do so many different annoying things.
Yeah, I mean, my Sableye set was like fake out, quash, taunt, and like knockoff.
Yeah, that was good. So yeah, and in my match, spoiler, 0-2
at 5 a.m.
Went up against Husku's Talonflames. I felt like it started off really well, and then I'm starting to notice some deficiencies in my team building. So I'm going to be looking to correct those. But it started off really well. I felt like I was in the driver's seat for the first third of the game or so, and then it kind of just fell apart at the end, especially some plays that worked out for him that I didn't think he was going to make. We'll just say
what, you mean like the superpower into a Clefable with the ability to me?
Yeah. Okay, it's clear that I'm just following me spamming. He'll just go for Iron Head on the Clefable. I'll swap it out and be able to get an attack with Melmel. No, goes for the superpower, which if I had done the standard play of Follow Me, would have done like no damage, would have reduced his defense. I probably would have overwhelmed him.
Yeah, if nothing, he's got the cojones to be a top player.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was a bad play. It's just, again, sometimes you try and do what's standard and, That's doubles. Doubles has a lot of unpredictability just because you have more variables.
Yeah. I mean, he read an unreadable play. Like, you're just like, okay. But I will say that I thought it was kind of interesting how his attack plan against you was the complete opposite of mine. Like, if you watch our games, I took out the Dusclops and the Clefable, and then, like, I took apart all your sweepers. But he, like, took out all the sweepers, and then you were left with just a bunch of supports that couldn't do anything. So I just thought it was interesting that he attacked you from the complete opposite angle.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, I felt like Hatterene did its job. But then, that superpower into Melmetal really took a lot out of me. Is what it is. So, yeah, I'll be making some moves and all that. But while we have that up, let's take a look at the current standings. So up here, speaking of my opponent, Tuscaloosa Talon Flames, they are now in sole possession of first place with 2 wins, 0 losses, and a total of 10 points. Second place is held by the LA Kinglers, who had another good showing, now 2-0 with 9 points. The Denver Nine Tails, their match is also on the YouTube channel. Check that out against PSG. They are 2-0. They are tied for third, along with Houston and our very own Montreal Milotics, all with 8 points. Sixth place is Waco, who is 2-0 with 4 points. Very close game, as Devin spoke about against Detroit. Then we have a 3-way tie for 7th place, which consists of Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, Minnesota Nido Kings, and Nelson and the Davenport Dragapults, all with 3 points, 1-1 record. Devin is in 10th place currently, 1-1 with 2 points. And then we have the bottom 6 teams, Lavender Town Gangars, your very own reigning champion, Boston Braviaries.
It means a lot coming from the bottom of the bracket.
Charm City Charizards, Mighty Psyducks, and Worcester Delibirds, all at 0-2.
Yeah, don't think I didn't notice that you put me at the bottom of that 3-way tie. Like, I see the spike.
That's just how it was, man. If you were at the bottom and that's just where you were, I wasn't going to type and retype it.
I think that's almost as sly as, like, putting a trophy on, like, a punching bag.
I don't have a shelf back here. What do you want? I got my Charmander hiding up in the ductwork, too. He's ready. Back up, boys. So, yeah. So I think, obviously, super early still, right? Like, we'll kind of get into this later, like week 2 out of 8. But it's interesting that the way the playoffs work is top 10 teams make it, top 6 get a 1-week bye. So therefore, all the 2-0 teams are the top 6, and then the 1-1 teams are the other 4 that make it. I thought that was just like an interesting side note, not to like predict too far in the future, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Anything? Obviously, I think Tuscaloosa is like kind of like standing out quite a bit. And then we have like quite a few teams all sort of like vying for these middle picks right now.
I mean, I think it's way too early to really tell which of these 2-0 teams are really break free. Like, I don't know if Montreal or actually half of those teams have really faced a real contender yet, if that makes sense in the nicest way possible.
Well, if you're 2-0,
yeah, week 1 was super easy.
0-2. And like both of my matches were wicked close. I could see either of the teams I played really shining down the line, or no, I couldn't see either of the teams I played so far really not doing well and for the rest of the season. But there's definitely some teams at the bottom of the bracket, some of the teams at the top of the bracket played, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you start to see stuff kind of morphing. But I think what'll be interesting, of course, is how teams starting tomorrow, week 3, we have free agency now open and teams can start trading. So this is the time for those bottom half teams to start making moves to shore up their weaknesses, and for the upper half teams to kind of like get that last piece or two that they think they might be missing over the next few weeks. So let's take a look here at some of these free agents that we have available. So what do you guys think? Is there anything that you're like particularly interested in, or something that you think might have slipped through the cracks for some teams during the draft?
That depends. When is this going to be released?
Tonight.
No comment.
Well, too bad. You're going to have a comment.
You're bringing it up, right?
Yeah. I'm getting that right now. All right. So here's the current free agent list. Wacky's also in the B tier. He's not on here, but he's there in spirit. So obviously banned, we don't care about. The G-Max, I don't see anybody really swapping out their G-Max, especially this early in the season. Like, I mean, if the only one I would see wanting to maybe get is if you're like, ooh, I could use a strong water type. I don't care about my current G-Max and I need speed control, then maybe Kingler, but I don't know. The apples are interesting to me as G-Maxes, especially Flapple. It hits really hard in its G-Max form. Even though its secondary effect of its G-Max moves isn't great. But the G-Max tier, I don't expect a lot of moves or any. I don't even think in last season we had anybody really swap out G-Max. I think it happened once, but that was an availability issue, not really a skill issue. What do you guys think? Any G-Maxes that you think might be up for play over the next week or so?
I think we're going to see more trading among G-Maxes than adding and picking up. Like, the trouble is last time we had, 12 teams, so we had 4 more options available. Now we have 16 teams, and the G-Maxes are pretty picked through at this point, unless maybe somebody needs a fighting type or, like you said, a water type.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got the S tier, which doesn't have a lot of options left. You got a couple of the fighting legendaries from Gen 5. You got a Trick Room, kind of a Shadow Tag, Gothitelle. I don't see anybody going Celebi. I don't see anybody going Kyurem, and I wouldn't see anybody going Necrozma. But I know I've had a lot of people already messaging me about Terrakion, and I told them, call me tomorrow. I ain't taking no requests just yet. So I think that one, it'll be interesting to see what team Tarak might go to. Tom, do you have any comments on Tarak?
So, like, one thing that I noticed was, like, I totally just blanked on it. And when I was drafting and, like, building a team, but, like, Beat Up Justified is actually kind of broken in this format. Because instead of, like, the VGC, like, +4 Beat Up combo, essentially, like, tripling your attack, you do it 6 times, which quadruples your attack. So, like, I mean, it's going to be a lot better in VGC because you get to Dynamax your Terrakion before you get the beat up, so you just have more HP. But, like, I could see people just do, like, an HP investment, like, speed investment with, like, a really fast beat up user and just, like, be hitting so hard with Terrakion at, like, 4 times attack. Like, they can just one-shot, like, all G-Maxes.
Earthquake and Rock Slide and whatever you need.
Yeah, I mean, if you land a Rock Slide on both with, like, ×4 attack, like, nothing's living that. And Terrakion has, like, base, like, 108 speed, so it already breaks through the 100 speed barrier. So, like, yeah, the majority of the league you can just sweep through with Rock Slides if you get a nice beat up off.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. Maybe I'll have to talk to the emergency rules committee about that. We'll have to see. Hasn't come into play yet. All right, then we go down to A tier. So definitely some very solid options in A tier. Basically any sort of like strategy or support that you want is still available. Nelson, do you have any comments on any of the A tier Pokemon? Anything that someone might be looking at?
There's like a couple Pokemon here, specifically the Virizion and maybe the Rotom Wash. I can see has some sort of viability in doubles. It just me from speaking because I used to play doubles before a couple years ago. But Rotom Wash and Virizion, very, very, very strong mons for doubles. Snorlax too to a certain extent, not G-Max. And maybe the Toxapex because of it had a built-in protect that badly poisoned something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Baneful Bunker.
It's been a while, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But those are like the main 3 that are like standing out to me. It's mainly Virizion.
Yeah. I also wouldn't be surprised if somebody got excited and got their shiny tomorrow. I was like, yeah, I wanna play with it.
Yeah, Zeraor's not bad if you really need a fast physical sweeper. It has good coverage moves. and he can definitely do a lot if that's the sort of role you're looking for. But I think we might see a lot of movement in the A tier, just because I think for if you need a role for your team, and like your A tier is either like a duplicate of another role that you have, or etc. I think a lot of teams might be looking at the A tier to fill some spots. B tier. Now we get to like kind of the dry things.
There are a lot of toys in B tier.
Yo, I just want to say one more thing about Zeraora. Zeraora has access to Snarl, Fake Out, and Knockoff, which are all like 3 excellent support moves. And then Plasma Fist is like just 100 accuracy, 100 base stab electric move. So I could definitely see like past the fact that it's shiny. Like if you need defensive tools, like Snarl is super strong. We saw it in our game against you, Ryan. Fake Out is a great starting move, and Knockoff, being able to knock off like Eviolite or like any really super important item. Like their aura can take any team that just doesn't have those tools and really boost it up like an entire tier.
Yeah. Just don't try and poltergeist after that knockoff. If you're running some ghost stab. But anyway, going through the B tier, yeah, there's definitely, Nelson, you made a good point. There's definitely a lot of tools still available in the B tier. You know, Devin, any like 1 or 2 key Pokemon you see in B tier that you think will be snatched up quickly this week?
So first I see Ninetales just because it's a Sunsetter that's left. And then I also see Haxorus because you got a Mold Breaker with high damage output.
Super high attack. Pretty good speed for this format.
And I mean, I'd be interested to see if somebody uses a Alolan Raichu with the new
Rising Surge or Voltage. What is it?
I
think it's Rising Voltage.
Yeah, the Psychic move.
Oh, Expanding Force.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried to do something with that.
Yeah, true. If you already have like the Needle Kings have Indeedee female, they probably have a B slot that they could use to get a Alolan Raichu.
Or if somebody has a Psychic user, Indeedee females here.
Yeah. Well, Indeedee male's still available in the B tier.
Oh, that's what I mean, yeah.
As a Psychic terrain setter. The more offensive variant of the two, but it also gets Expanding Force, which is a huge buff for it. So I could definitely see that if you need a Psychic type user, and that opens up a lot of different play with Seeds and Unburden and everything, depending on what your team has. Yeah, I like a lot of these. I mean, Mamoswine is really powerful, and it can stick around quite a bit with its thick fat if you have the right matchups. Rabombi can be very annoying. You can do some tricks with speed swap with it. If you got like a slower sweeper late game, you can just make it fast as all heck.
Yeah, Ryan, I could totally see you like pick up Rabombi and just be able to speed swap with your Hatterene and just get confusions off before everybody.
Yeah. That is true.
Or you can get your Melmetal to get an attack in.
Yeah, before I get super powered with my Clefable out.
Also, for B tier, I also see Araquanid and Salazzle. Very interesting mons. Also, the poison electric thing from the new games. I don't know any of their names.
Oh, yeah, Toxtricity.
Toxtricity, yeah.
The thing about Toxtricity that scares me is all of its best moves are spread, which hit your allies. So you need either something that resists it very well or is immune to it. Waco has Excadrill, but they already have the G-Max version of Toxtricity, and I think Excadrill is like the best partner for it because it resists Boom Burst and is immune to Overdrive and Sludge Wave.
Well, another thing he has is he has that Musharna with Telepathy, and Telepathy is a super important ability for being able to just dodge like Earthquakes and damage like that.
True, but again, he already has as the G-Max tier, so he wouldn't be picking.
Yeah. But no, the other 2 mons that I see like would be Passimian because it's got Defiant and Intimidate is like such a huge ability. And Passimian just hits hard anyways. And also like Alcremie. Alcremie with getting Decorate, but also having Sweet Veil, making it so you just can't get your side put to sleep. I mean, we see LA Kingler is the second best team right now, and they're running G-Max Alcremie. And Alcremie is arguably better outside of G-Max, so I mean, that could be a pickup if people want
to get your support types. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of goods to still be had in B tier, for sure. And then the drudges of C tier. What do we
Shuckle.
have down here? Shuckle, yes.
Shuckle, my favorite mod. He has so much dumb stuff you want to put him in Trick Room team. It's crazy on paper.
All right, there you go. You got him. He's all yours.
I don't want him, though. I love him. I just don't want him.
Devin, what do you think? You see anything interesting in the C tier? There's a lot of, like, some Pokemon with some decent, like, beating potential, but either they're slow or they have some sort of drawback.
I mean, to me, the two best Pokemon left in C tier first would be Colossal, because I think Rocks in like how we have it set up where we're still bringing 6 is a lot better than people are giving it credit for. As well as, it's wicked slow, nice Trick Room sweeper, also a nice answer to Trick Room. And then the other Pokemon I see and see that I would be interested in would be Cloyster. Just ice type, raw power. Big fan of it.
Yeah, Cloyster's not bad. I guess if you can kind of redirect or do some stuff with it, because obviously it's not the bulkiest boy. I mean, it has good defenses, but low HP. I don't mind, like, you're talking like Trick Room. Like, yeah, I definitely agree. Colossal has potential, especially if you do like a special attack and power herb set with like Solar Beam or the new Meteor Beam as an option. Like if you Meteor Beam with a power herb, that's a +1 special attack raise and a very strong rock attack. Also looking, I mean, you have what's his freaking name? The bug water guy, Golisopod. Like, he hits really hard. You can get some stuff like first impression. He's slow, but again, he has some like tricks there.
Yeah, he also has Aqua Jet and Swords Dance, I believe. So you can just like Swords Dance, and then Aqua Jet just kills everything.
Yeah.
But I also see like Beartic would be an interesting pickup because I'm pretty sure it knows Swift Swim. So like that'd be kind of cool for the rain team if they wanted like ice coverage.
Yeah, I guess. So.
Just like take out like pesky grass types, flying types. And then Phalanx also looks nice just because of the Defiant ability.
If you can do something with Swoobat too, it's simple, like sweep with Swoobat. Maybe I'm going too far out of left field.
I'll let you try that.
I will try it, damn it.
All right, so he's getting Swoobat.
Yeah, maybe in week 7 when I'm like 1-6 or 1-5 or something stupid. Yeah, so there's options. I think Wish Cash is okay. Mantine is okay. Like if the rain team need like another special attacker or something.
Yeah, I feel like when we get down to the C tier, most of the stuff that's left is just kind of like, okay.
Yeah,
it's like,
I see a lot of movement in C tier. Again, like Flapple can hit hard if you need like grass or dragon coverage, but then you're relying on Hustle. But apparently Durant hits Hustle every time, so whatever. All right. So that's our breakdown of the free agents. Have you guys been talking trades yet behind the scenes? I know we opened up the trading block on the Discord, so I've been talking with a couple teams, seeing what's like available. Tom, you've been talking trades with any teams? You don't have to say what or for who, but just any discourse going on.
Honestly, not really. I mean, like I have like a free agent pickup or two that I could do, but I'm kind of happy with like how flexible my team is and how I can kind of like adapt like each week. Like I really want to be with the team that just has a new lead every single week. And I think my team is pretty well suited to do that. So I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, like I might pick something up just to like help me take care of and like shore up a weakness for like 1 week, but I feel like the free agent block has that pretty well under control.
Yeah. Nelson, how about you? You've been talking trades with anybody, looking at anything?
Not anything in particular, but I do know what kind of things on my team I want to either improve on or just swap it overall. Like a few Pokemon I feel like could have either underperformed or I just didn't like. But overall, my team's been doing really good. I've been liking it so far.
Yeah.
like, as is, but there needs to be changes.
Nice. Devin, how about you? I saw you posted a couple things on the trade block, so you've been talking with anybody, getting the course going on?
I feel like my team hits too hard on the physical side and doesn't have enough ways to deal special damage. So I feel like that's kind of an obstacle for me. And then I could absolutely use picking up a few better support mons. But like there's certain synergies in my team that I love, like Thieva Lucario and some other similar, just these two work together. So like I wouldn't want to trade half of the combo and be like, well, now I have this useless Pokemon.
Yeah. I hear you. So what you're saying is you need 2-for-2 sort of trades?
Yes.
All right. We'll talk later.
All right.
But anyway, nice. So it's good to see that there's like some discord going on. Obviously, in season 1, we had quite a few trades, and there was always free agent pickups. So that's good to see that continues now with more coaches and a different format. So now it's everybody's favorite time of the podcast. No, it's not Grill Ryan some more. No, it's not Shine the Trophy. It's mailbag time. Let's break that down. So we have quite a few questions.
Question before we start mailbag.
Yep.
What's the date of the release for the YouTube video of you just polishing the trophy for 20 minutes straight?
After he drops after he goes 1-6.
And also, when are we getting the compilation of everybody grilling you?
Final walk down, memory lane. I'll have like a whole montage of me with different scenes with the trophy, before.
Actually, at the end of the season, can we just get like a montage of your faint scenes set to that ASPCA song? What is it? Wings of an Angel?
Arms of an Angel?
Yeah.
I'll work on it. I don't know.
Are we gonna? I feel like we're gonna get baby pictures, and they're gonna have the trophy in it.
I can't decide which I love more. All right. Back on track. Mailbag time. We got quite a few, so we'll try and go through this. This one's for the veteran coaches. So from season 1, what has been the biggest hurdle or change from singles to doubles? This is from Josh. So I'll kind of like talk about this first. I just kind of like the unpredictability. I feel like for the most part, like, yeah, you can kind of plan to somewhat of an extent, but there's so many variables. I found that I don't have the energy to plan as much as I did in season 1. You know what I mean? Because it's like I need more energy to get to the level that I was in season 1. So therefore, I don't feel like it's worth it for me to expend that much energy in this. But that's probably like the biggest difference that I've had. Devin, how about you?
It kind of feels like in singles, like the lines were simpler. It's either I outspeed you, I'm going to take some damage, or knock you out. I'm slower than you, but you're not going to deal enough damage that I care, or I'm going to switch out. Here, it feels like 8 of those are going on at once. I could switch this spot, I could switch that spot, I could see how these Pokemon synergize. Like, there's just so many different lines happening at once that kind of like in your match where he made a call that made no sense whatsoever, and it worked. Like there's not a black and white for that. You just got to play to your outs differently. And I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm really excited for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Tom, how about you? You played doubles probably more than most of the coaches in this season, so I'm sure you can attest to this.
Yeah, so like when you look at singles, kind of like what Devin was saying, he basically nailed it, right? Right on the tail with the fact that you just kind of look at, okay, this is the weakness, this is the speed. How can I best manage this? And that's why like I didn't play much singles, so I was just kind of like my games went to time because I was just like, okay, I'm switching because I just need to switch into like the right type weakness and then figure out a way to be able to switch around and make sure that you keep your mon in so I can get the knockout. So games like took forever. But with doubles, you can kind of be like, okay, well, the first turn is the most important turn. So let me make like the most oppressive and like best start that I can, or like the one that shores up the most amount of weaknesses and just kind of like go down that rabbit hole. Just be like, okay, what mons am I worried about, like blah blah blah. And like if you can get a start that is like your just objective best one, it makes it like a lot easier than in singles where you're kind of like, oh well, this is my stealth rock setter, so like I have to start this. You can kind of like take more creative liberties and be like, okay, well, I want to be able to like do this, but I don't have to just only play this Pokemon. I can also play this one to shore up its weaknesses, and like, oh, I can do a Tailwind on turn 1 and be able to counter them. Like, you just have all this like really cool and like creative stuff that you can do with your team, and that's why like I just really enjoyed picking like the most versatile pick. So I can be like, oh, maybe I want to try some sort of like beat up strategy next week. Let me do this. Let me pick this guy up. Like, you know, and that makes it just so much more fun, and it makes every week way more enjoyable, and it's really fun to see kind of like what people come up with for their leads and what they want to do and how those games go to its end and conclusion.
Yeah, I got you. Nelson, I know you weren't here for season 1, but you've expressed your sort of past playing in doubles and competitive VGC and everything. So what do you think a key difference between singles and doubles for those transitioning to the format?
I think that there's more options with doubles, like how to play. Like personally, when playing doubles, I feel like it's a smart move to lead something with fake out or lead something that has a like user protects a lot. Like my opponent from last week, I think he's on the call. I forgot the team name. I'm sorry, man. But
It's all good, man.
Instead I use protect a lot. I do that because I used to doubles is pretty much like I'm either trying to stall out the tailwind, stall out your terrain, stall out your your Gmax if I can't deal with it on my own. But I'm just trying to use like what I know from playing back then to transition it to now, which is pretty much the same thing. I just have 2 extra mons. Like for me, even better.
Yeah, I think definitely, like you said, kind of those other moves, the fake outs and the protects, like they mean so much more, because if you fake out the wrong Pokemon, or if you do a protect and they double into the other guy, like you really got to like kind of make the calls. And
like it's like there's a lot of reading involved, like because you're looking at, all right, what can this mon do to me? What can this one do to me? How can this screw my team up? What can take the hit if I want to swap out? Like, what can take a hit from either of these or both?
Yeah, like
which is another thing. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, like in singles, oftentimes like if you just have a bad type advantage, your opponent, like you're just like, okay, either they're going to do this move or they're gonna switch out. But like now, instead of like Pokemon, you can just go, well, I'm just gonna protect with this one. This other one's gonna do something. Hopefully, knock out the mon that threatens it, and then that mon can stay on the field and it can continue its tempo.
Exactly. Like my battle this morning, he led Komao, Galera, and Weezing. I led Scrafty, Serena. No, and when I saw the Weezing, I was like, that can potentially one-shot the Serena, or even worse, something to kill the Scrafty. I value the Scrafty a bit more. Just fake out. And U-turn just came in so clutch. And shout outs to Aegis Slash. I love him.
There you go. Somehow he didn't end up in MVP voting, but we'll go over that later. So next question, this is a 2-parter. Have your matchups thus far been what you were expecting? If not, what did your opponents do differently than what you thought? Tom, you kind of talked about this a little bit in your match, so I'll kind of let the other guys elaborate a little bit. For my match, I felt like the first week was pretty much what I expected. The second week, he brought a couple different Pokemon than what I was thinking, but, I just couldn't capitalize on the end there. And as we've already talked about, he made the correct, quote unquote, reads or moves. Devin, what do you think? How have your matchups been going compared to your expectations?
So I've noticed that like teams brought slightly different Pokemon than I expected. But for the most part, I think it's been kind of what I've expected as far as the actual in-game play has gone. I've made mistakes, my opponents have made mistakes, and honestly, so far that's my favorite part of this season. Is other than Tom, none of us are super familiar with doubles, and it's like watching myself and my opponents make mistakes and being able to have those constructive conversations after of, hey, I did this, but I noticed you did this. I think we can both improve from this and A, put up better numbers in our future weeks, and B, have a better match if we play again in the playoffs.
There you go. Very cool. Nelson, how about you? How has your matches been turning out compared to your expectations?
As I thought week one was gonna, because week one going into it, they're saying he was 7-1 week one, the first season. I have a hard time. So honestly, I was expecting to get either swept or just kind of destroyed. So even I lost. I'm glad I was able to put up a fight for that one. And week two, he brought a Como instead of a Halucha that he had in week one, which kind of caught me off guard. But when I realized, then I thought about it, and I was like, wait, Como does absolutely nothing to my team. I have nothing to worry about. So I left it alone and let it kill itself.
Just die. All right, very cool. So those questions came from Juan, who let the Como kill itself. Next, we got, what's one mistake you think you made in your match this week? So Devin kind of like talking about what you were just commentating on. And have you been doing anything extra, such as playing versus, ranked, or on Pokemon Showdown to prepare? That's from Josh.
Yeah, I'll start. So another kind of big change from the doubles to the singles for me is kind of trying to keep track of knockouts and everything. And there was a moment where I was trying to keep track of a knockout, and I forgot that my Gengar got yawned, and I G-maxed it, and it went right to sleep.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that was
I just record all my matches and write it down after.
That was definitely a mistake. And as far as what I've been doing to prepare for weeks, a lot of showdown, just a lot of just practicing on the ladder. Shout out to Tom's service. It's great if you haven't used it. The idea of $2 for a mon, that's cool. But if you pay the $10 for the whole team, like the fact that he'll like sit down with you and give you insight and walk you through your game, it's definitely worth it. And if your opponent's doing it, I'd rather not be on the other end of that.
Damn, what, you slip him a 5 under the table, Tom? Jeez, am I gonna have to do a hashtag ad at the front of this video or something?
Nah, it's just that's how Waco won.
It's a paid sponsor, Tom Services.
Yeah, right. I guess everyone who gets Tom Services has to talk about it on the podcast as well.
Hey, you guys paid for my DLC.
You paid for my week 2 win.
Oh.
I paid for my week 2 win.
I just got Tuscaloosa his DLC because it was his birthday this past week, so I bought it for him. So he'll only improve now that he has access to the actual move tutors and different stuff.
Yeah, we created a monster in that team.
I think, Devin, are you still there? I think we might have lost Devin. Either that or he's having a stroke. I'm not sure.
Why not both?
All right, well, we'll hope to be rejoined by Detroit Steelix. He kind of said his piece on this question. Nelson, do you have any comments on that? Any
like what I do to prepare?
Yeah.
Well, after week 1, I realized where I messed up, so I started playing on ranked on Sword. Doing pretty good so far. I've played 30 battles and I've only lost 9 of them, so I'm improving in doubles again. And also, shout out to Tom Services, got me all the mons, and I practiced with him during the week.
What the heck? I can't have this guy on here. Free advertising. Jeez. All right, very cool. Yeah, I think I talked with Waco and PSG as well before the podcast, and they both said that they've been kind of like co-oping together on Showdown, trying to like figure out like, oh, this might be what their opponents will bring, and then they'll like play against each other for like a series of games. So I think I should find like somebody to do that. I think that would be good prep instead of like season 1. I just did a bunch of calculations and like figured it out with that.
So my practicing with Tom is pretty much exactly what you said, what you just described, but it's just a few games of him just shitting on me. But it helps me look at like, all right, I need to look out for this one. I need to look out for this one. Like this week it was, all right, the Snorlax was my biggest fear because that's all I lost to against Tom in practice games.
Yeah, there were some games where I'd just get a setup so that like the Snorlax could get like 4 KOs in a row or something. Like I'd be down by like 3 or 4
You'd curse
mons.
3 titimes.
Yeah, like, I'd be down like 3 or 4 mons, and then the Snorlax would just sweep, and he'd be like, "What's going on?" like,
Snorlax is good. I have faith in Worcester. I think they'll come back and make the playoffs. I hope. You know, don't prove me wrong. You hate to see it. All right. Next question. This one's from Jack. What teams do you think pose the biggest threat in the league? I mean, obviously we kind of talked about this. It's kind of a little too soon to tell. Obviously, I think Montreal is very strong. I think Tuscaloosa is very strong. Obviously, LA has been performing very well. If you haven't watched Denver's video, I think that they played very well this week. So I definitely think there are a few teams to watch out for. Nelson, what do you think?
So I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched like any of the battle videos. It's on my bucket list. I'm sorry.
I'm putting in all this work.
If it makes you feel, if anything, I listen to the podcast whenever I'm driving.
All right, that counts.
I just don't watch the battles themselves. So
the battles are like 10 minutes. You watch them while you're eating your cereal in the morning or whatever.
All right, got it. But
Sponsored by
probably
part of this breakfast.
A bowl of cereal, a battle video, some orange juice, and some salt.
That's right.
Check out Boston's second video for your healthy dose of salt.
All right, Tom, how about you?
So, I mean, I think Tuscaloosa, like, that guy is just a monster now. Yo, what's up?
Wi-Fi crash.
Welcome back.
He came back. So we're on the question of like who's the team to fear. And I think Tuscaloosa has just like kind of come out of nowhere. And yeah, he's at the top of the ladder. So like we can't just ignore the fact that he got a 6-0 sweep and then he got a 4-0 sweep on you, Ryan. Like I mean, we kind of, you know, have fun dumpstering on you because you're 0-2, but like I mean, you're the champ. So like getting, you know, knocking you out and like still having 4 mons is still an impressive feat. So I definitely think Tuscaloosa is like way up there. I think the LA Kinglers, it's not that I don't think that they're a bad team. They're just kind of like middle of the road team, and then they get a 6-0 sweep, and then they get another, you know, 3-0 pretty clean kill. So they're definitely up there. But I just think
people are sleeping on Jellison. I mean, it's been nominated for MVP now.
MVP twice.
So yeah.
Twice. Jellison is strong.
Pretty good form. Yeah, so Devin, yeah, kind of as Tom said, team to fear is the question going on. I kind of rattled off the top 4 teams basically that are in the league right now: Montreal, Tuscaloosa, LA, and I said don't sleep on Denver if you watch today's video. Any other teams you want to talk about?
So, I mean, I said at the beginning of the season, Denver was a team to fear. They definitely got better as the first season progressed. So I wouldn't sleep on them, but both of the teams they've played. Oh no, the team they played today seemed pretty solid. So definitely Denver. We'll see what Tuscaloosa does moving forward. If they play any harder teams.
They've had a pretty easy schedule so far this season.
Yeah, those Montreal guys, they're kind of cocky, but I think they have the skills and the mons to defend it. So we'll see.
Thanks, buddy.
My God, you guys.
He's saying that for the camera.
Yeah,
that one he did slip me a 5 spot for.
Yeah, slipping the SmackDown talk of the Discord if you want to see how we really feel about each other. Anyway, okay, here's another question from Jack. how is your season going as a whole? And we kind of already answered this. Any trades or free agents you're looking to pick up to help improve? I think the records kind of speak for themselves as how this season's going. Obviously, Tom, you're 2-0, so you're right where you want to be. Nelson, you just picked up your first win, so you're getting back on track where you want to be in both of your games. Like even the one that you lost against Devin last week, it was still very close. So I feel like you're where you want to be. Devin, both of your matches have been close. You know, you won one, you lost one. So I feel like you know where you have to improve to like kind of like make that differential a little wider on your part. And then obviously my season has not gone how I wanted it. So do you guys have anything you want to add to that? I know I just kind of spoke for everybody, but as the goddamn commissioner,
I think
do that.
I think from a Mon standpoint, I'm pretty happy with my team. Maybe one or two more trades I'd like to make, but from a play perspective, I'm definitely not where I want to be, and there's definitely some progress to be made throughout the season.
Nelson, Tom, do you guys want to add anything to my breakdowns of your seasons real quick?
No, I'm in a good. Personally, I think I'm in a good spot. And today I played the way I wanted to, and everything just worked out. If I wanted to change anything, it might be a mon or two, but that's yet to be decided.
Very cool. All right, next question. This is our first one that doesn't come from somebody within the league. So, guys, we are breaking barriers.
Wait, somebody cares?
Someone not in the league actually watches this?
Somebody not in the league asked the question. Who does everybody think the single strongest Pokemon is in the doubles format? So this is kind of a loaded question, but a single Pokemon that you think is the best in the doubles format. And I guess we'll stay to this format, so let's stay with the Pokemon that we're using. Like, let's not talk about like Isle of Armor DLC. Let's not talk about like, okay, if we had a national dex sort of thing.
What we have right now.
Yeah, exactly. So within the league right now, tier 1 best Pokemon. I mean,
for doubles,
yeah,
Dragapult. For me, it's Dragapult, not just because the name. Just Dragon Darts on his own is just an insane attack.
I would like.
And it has a really interesting type.
I guess we're talking. I would like Dragapult better if this was like you can Dynamax whatever you want league. So I guess like I would put him up there for that because of his coverage and everything. I mean, PSG picked him number 1 overall. I mean, I think Togekiss is just the glue that can hold like almost any team together, and you can do so much.
Or even Incineroar.
Yeah, Incineroar is also kind of some. Although I think Togekiss has better like offensive capability than Incineroar does, so it kind of just depends on the utility. But
I mean, if we're talking strongest mon, so like there's two different ways that we can kind of like dissect this. There's the one that does the most amount of damage, and there's the one that soaks up the most amount of damage. And I think both of them have to be Gmaxes, just because like the Gmax is inherently broken in our metagame. I think the most damage comes from Colossal because, and we've seen it. It's in the best team, right? And it has rocks that deal damage like 1/6 at the end of the turn. So, and it does that for 3 turns to 2 different mons. So it basically it does the equivalent of killing 1 Pokemon, right? Because 1/6 times 6, because 2 mons over 3 turns. So it can kill a mon just by the residual damage that it does. And then with a weakness policy steam power, it can pick up 3 KOs very easily on top of the amount of like residual damage. So I think that's the one that deals the most damage, and the one that soaks up the most amount of damage has to be Gmax Lapras, with the screens and the fact that it just has so much HP. Like the HP stat is like above 100. I think it's like 130 anyways. And then setting up screens with like light screens for 8 turns in a 6v6 can just soak up so much damage. So I think it'd be between those two. If we're talking like strongest, most damage, it's Colossal.
Yeah, I can see your point. Devin, what do you think?
I mean, kind of what Tom said, except I think you would have to go with Lapras because it does still have a solid damage output with that ability to protect itself. Like, if it could just protect itself, cool, but the fact that it can put out a considerable amount of damage and has access to pretty decent move pool, it's got to be G-Max Lapras.
Yeah, I mean, last game I got the three max hits. They all got Okos. So I mean, it still puts out damage.
Nice, very cool. So, kind of had different. And that question was from Donna, now our #1 fan. Thank you, Donna.
If Donna, if you're in the comments, could you just let us know why Detroit Steelix is your favorite team?
All right, going on.
Crickets.
This one comes from Caitlin. Are there any non-drafted Pokemon, so Pokemon still in the free agent pool, that you were surprised to see left? I mean, short answer, I guess, but I mean, every team's different. I'm not gonna frown on somebody's picks if they thought that was what fit their team best at the time. You know, like as you continue to play and you figure stuff out, sure. Like, you know, what do you think, Tom?
I mean, there's a couple. Like, I think the #1 glaring one is like Rotom Wash, right? Like, it just has, it's such a bulky water type that also has like a very low amount of weaknesses. Like, grass is already like one of those types that people just don't bring to the table the majority of the time, and that's like its only weakness.
Yeah,
with like levitate and stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's like Butterfree is like a pretty good support. We see the G-Max version, but like Gotharita, right? Yeah, that's still an S tier.
Gothitelle.
Or Gothitelle, sorry. Yeah, that one. I mean, that one's super good, but I was definitely super surprised to see Scrafty around when we were drafting the Dragapults, because I mean that was kind of like the free agents that were left over.
Yeah, I agree. When you pointed that out, I was like, oh shit, I didn't even notice it.
I mean,
yeah, like when you were talking to me about the draft and was left, I was shocked that Scrafty was on there.
I think it's like what says most about the league is the fact that Davenport missed the draft entirely and was still able to put together a team that gave me a run for my money when I was the 3rd overall pick and won week 2, and is on pace to do very well with Pokemon that none of us drafted.
Yeah,
I thought that was a day late.
I only sent out messages like 10 times that week.
Yeah, he missed the 10 pings in the Discord.
I used to be on another Pokemon Discord, so I just mute my Discord now.
For shame. All right, last question, guys. Who do you want to see in the playoffs? So maybe this is like a personal vendetta sort of question.
I would love to shit all over Donald in the fucking playoffs. That is my goal for this season right now. Sorry to cut you off.
When do we get a Donald?
That's me.
Is that because you're a duck?
Yeah. Yeah, quack, quack. Yeah, no, I'd love to destroy Nelson and put him in his place since I built his team, and I can take him away just as soon as I brought him into this league. So.
Yeah, I feel like all these teams that you built for everyone, Tom, there's like a hidden like self-destruct every Pokemon's brain, and you got the split.
Yeah, each team has a
one of those things that you don't know about. You're gonna log in on Wi-Fi. It's gonna be like the finals battle, and all of a sudden your Wi-Fi is just gonna disconnect, and you're not gonna be able to play against Tom.
Yeah,
but it won't show that on the game. Like on the game.
Oh, then I'll get him on Showdown. I'll get him on Showdown.
I built half this league, and with a snap of my fingers, half of this league will be gone by the time the finals rolls around.
He knows this shit.
They call me Thanos.
So, Devin, how about you? Team that, you know, if you're expecting to make it to the playoffs that you want to see there match up against?
So, I'll be honest, there's a few. I want Montreal, as badly as like I know he'll be a tough match. I don't play him in regular season, and I'd love to knock him off his high horse. Davenport put up such a great game week 1. I'd like to play him again. Waco, great game today. I want a shot at redemption. Denver, they did so great last season. I want to see what they can do this season. But for me, like playoffs start week 8 and knocking you out so I don't have to play again in the playoffs.
There you go. Yeah, probably. That'll probably happen. We'll see. If by a God Saint Miracle. I'm not a Christian, but if you're hearing me,
I wouldn't mind going. I wouldn't mind taking another whack at Detroit in the playoffs. Run it back.
run it back.
Run it back.
I don't know.
I don't mind.
I gotta lay some smack down on Tuscaloosa calling me every day or whatever. I need like a good actual time to prepare, and then hopefully I can shut his pie hole. But we'll see. He doesn't run his mouth in the Discord, but he's got my number. So
Whoa. He dropped the most fire meme and then moonwalked out of Smack Talk. He was like, Ryan's team is trash.
Copy and
I'm out.
job. Copy and paste job. When I drop a meme, it's a Lab Dog original. You get that shit from the champ.
Oh wait. Oh, you guys haven't seen me post memes yet. There's a meme page. Hold on.
Yeah, well,
I'll be more active.
We just opened Pandora's box here, guys.
Meme page.
This was something that really shouldn't have happened.
You guys wanted me on Discord so badly. Here you go.
Be careful. You might get called a lap dog.
Yeah. Hey, better watch out. Don't do what Tom says.
Just flex on the haters. That's all you got to do.
Think you ignore them around because you gave him $10. Anyway.
I think if you give him 12, he throws the match for you.
I didn't know that deal. I already played him. All right, so guys, we're winding it down here. Episode 6 of Sordward Shielbert's spectacular podcast. Any last word, guys, before we close it out?
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you, Nelson. Good to have you as part of the society. Very exciting. Tom,
see you in Smack Talk.
Always good to have you. Yeah, see you in Smack Talk, Devin. See the rest of you in Smack Talk. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Buy some damn nachos. All right? Shit's expensive. Is that
Nacho place is closed.
Grilled cheese. Cheese is expensive. All right, guys. Till next time.
Have a good one.
Yeah.